With COD Next now over, the only thing we have to look forward to for Bo7 is the open beta and the early access beta before November 14th when the game actually launches. And today, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about the Black Ops 7 beta. Now, I'm not going to go over everything that is going to be in the beta, but I'm going to give you the key talking points as well as things that you might want to consider when loading up the beta. First off, if you want to play it early on Thursday, October 2nd, that is going to be requiring a pre-order, whether it's a digital pre-order or maybe a pre-order beta code you got from GameStop or a physical retailer. If you want to play it early before everyone else, or if you want to just get in early, you will need a pre-order. It will be going live October 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, 11 Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. So those are all the different time zones, but it will be starting at 1 o'clock Eastern, and then you can convert that time zone from there. So in the beta, there will be 6 core 6v6 maps. There isn't going to be any classic remastered maps, so we're not going to be seeing Raid, Express, or anything like that. But from what I've seen of the maps played at Next and from other creators, these maps are very well laid out. It goes back to old classic Treyarch design, so think like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3 map design, 3 lanes with a lot of like little inner routes going in between it. Not to mention, I will say this for the Zombies fans, Zombies will be in the beta. Now, I believe that Zombies is still supposed to be accessible in the beta on the second day, so not on the second but on the third, and it's supposed to be farm survival. That is confirmed. It will be farm survival in the beta. It won't be the brand new round-based map. It will just be a small portion of that map. But apparently leakers have been looking inside the code, because you can preload the beta now. You're going to be seeing this, early in the morning. I plan on doing an early morning upload. Apparently they've been changing around the times on when it's going to be available. It was supposed to be available on the second day, and then only available for like 2 or 3 days, and then taken out. And now apparently it's available on the first day. Regardless, I'm just going to give you guys what I think it's going to be. It's going to be available on the second day, so just keep an eye out on that. If you log in at all during the weekend, you should be able to play Zombies just a little bit. There is no round cap, by the way. Apparently the round cap is 999. So if you can get to that, post it to Treyarch. Apparently they might give you a free copy of the game. The developers were saying that they were going to be really impressed if someone can get to that high of a round count before the beta ends. So that's a challenge that I'm issuing out to you guys. The level cap for the early access beta will be 20, and then for the rest of the open beta, they're going to bump it up to 30. So we're going to get halfway through the prestige grind, and apparently there's going to be a decent amount of score streaks in the beta itself. But one thing that I really want to talk about is the overclock system. Now, this is brand new to Call of Duty, but not really. It's new to the Warzone era of COD, but we've actually seen this mechanic in Advanced Warfare when you could upgrade your kill streaks. So for an additional score, you can upgrade a UAV, you could upgrade, an attack helicopter in Advanced Warfare. Well, overclocking takes that, but you can apply it to equipment or to score streaks. So I'll give you 2 examples. So for example, if you were to put on a stim shot onto your loadout and you were to overclock that, it should be able to regen, or you'll have more than 1 stim shot, or you might even have 4. Basically, overclocking is upgrading that piece of equipment to do better or do more of what it already does. So, for example, for kill streaks, the dog, the little robot dog that you've been seeing in the trailers, the little white robot dog that's like walking around, you can have a sentry mode overclock on that, allowing you to pet the dog, but it also now, apparently, I think it follows you around instead of just seeking out targets. In regards to UAVs, you can overclock that, and now you might have an advanced UAV, or maybe it'll last longer. Basically, you can apply, I think it's 1 overclock to either equipment or to streaks, or maybe you get 1 for both. But I do know that that's something that I want you guys to keep an eye on, because it can really affect how good you play, or if it'll make your lobbies easier, because we all know this SBMM is just going to make your lobbies really, really hard in the beta, so just keep that in mind. Another thing I want to bring up is the perk system. So if you played Bo6, if you have 3 of the same colored perks, you get a combat specialty. Well, now they've tweaked that around, so now if you don't have 3 of the same perk, but you have 2 of the same color of perk, you get this thing called a hybrid combat specialty. So you don't get the full benefits of a full-on combat specialty, but you get a very unique one depending on what perk combinations you have, which can really change up how you play. It allows for more perk variety. I know personally, when I played Bo6 through this whole year, I only used maybe about 5 different perks, just because the other ones they weren't in good slots to really, you know, be competitive with other of the like very crucial perks. Like flak and tack were maybe in the first perk slot, but there was also ghost, there was ninja, so you really gotta, you know, pick and choose in BO6. But with BO7 you can also, you know, mix around but also still get a benefit if I don't want to run 3 of the same colored perks. I will also say, I don't know if this is in the beta or not, but Specialist is going to be in a Treyarch game for the first time ever in BO7. Now, it is a wild card, and I'm pretty sure if you played any of the recent Black Ops games, you know what a wild card is. You can apply it, and then at certain score amounts, you get 3 more perks eventually until you get a specialist bonus. Now, what I think is kind of funny is that once you get specialist bonus, the new sprinter perk, which adds tack sprint into BO7, is not included in that specialist bonus. So I don't know if that's Treyarch saying, hey, we also hate tack sprint, or if they just forgot to add it in there. I don't know. But if you do enjoy, you know, kind of becoming that super soldier on the map, specialist bonus is going to be there. It's going to be something that I really recommend you check out. We're going to have a ton of gun variety. I will say, if you guys have heard the rumors, the weapon code system that has been talked about by devs and stuff like that, so that way you can get a specific person's loadout just by typing in like a 5-number code, that is not going to be in the beta, but it will be there at launch. So for anyone that is looking up at like COD community websites or like warzone-stats.gg, if you want to know the meta for the beta, I'm sure it's going to be very apparent. You're going to see a lot of YouTubers talking about it. I might talk about it too. But I would keep an eye out on the M8A1, which is a marksman rifle, the MXR AR, the Peacekeeper, and the Graz 45. The Graz 45 is a sub, as well as the Razor 9mm. Those guns specifically stuck out to me when I was watching creators play. I can't wait to get my hands on them to see if that's actually true or not. And I believe this beta runs until October 6th on Monday and ends at 1 p.m. Eastern, though they may extend the beta by a day. Treyarch usually has pretty much every dev studio has a history of extending the beta by a day, because this is the only beta we're getting this year. After this, we have to wait until November 14th to play the game fully. I will say, I'm going to throw this in here right before I end the video. I enjoyed COD Next. I'm very excited for BO7. I think multiplayer looks great. I'm excited for zombies, and I'm optimistic for Warzone. The new Resurgence map, Haven's Hollow, looks good. I really hope that we just see a lot more support, because this past year Warzone didn't really get the amount of support that it got during MW3, or even, you know, during the prime Warzone days. I feel like it was just neglected, and we are getting a Blackout inspired experience on a new big map, so we're gonna have 2 big maps. So we'll learn more about that in the spring. But other than that, that is going to do it for me, guys. I will be streaming the beta. Links down below to my Twitch stream, posting videos on TikTok, YouTube, as well as all that. I want to get back into uploading. I'm sorry for the lack of long form uploads this year. It's just BO6. It wasn't doing it for me. So hopefully we can get into that grind again. I hope to see you all in the beta. I'm excited to launch in. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Later.